Welcome to Aging Untold. As we age, our bodies change, our independence shifts, our abilities look different. But dignity, that fundamental respect for who we are, doesn't have to fade with time. The challenge is it slips away in the small decisions. A choice made for someone instead of with them. A tone of voice, the way we're seen. Sam, when we talk about dignity and aging, where does that conversation need to start?
That conversation needs to start from the perspective of putting yourself in their shoes. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That golden rule should be running forever. And we've got this mindset that we can roll in and we can just save this person from being a human being. We're humans from the time we're born till the time we end. Dignity and respect should run from day one till the final sunset. And it would give our aged community so much more ability to ask for help if we gave help with the right dignity and respect along the way. You know, dignity is not doing everything yourself, but it is having a voice in what gets done. And so I teach this all the time. You know, we jump in and we talk about, like, hey, this is mom over here. You know, we need to talk about mom. No, we need to talk to mom. We need to talk to people that still have a voice, even if they have dementia and cognitive decline. Don't stop including adults in adult decisions.
I think it's when they lose their independence, but you still have to look at how you treat them. And we so much as caregivers and family members, we want people to be, we want them to be safe. That's really what it's all about, right? But guess what? Being safe doesn't mean you don't take risks. They've been taking risks their whole life. They travel,
That's
they drive, they decide what they want to eat. All those come with a little bit of risk. So we cannot come in from the safety aspect and just take everything away from it because it leaves an all or not.
We're not China dolls to put on a shelf.
No, I remember after my surgery, my sister took care of me, and she would sit me up and she would say, now we're going to do this. Now I'm going to help you get on your socks. And she was walking me through, and I just felt so valued. And I think about that, like from the older person's perspective, to ask for what you need. I remember a very uncomfortable conversation I had with a staff member. She was calling me sweetie. And you know, some people might like that, but I don't like that. So I had to ask her, please don't call me sweetie. I felt disrespected. So I think it's important for the older person to also communicate how you like to be treated.
And I see a lot of times they give up on that.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they want so much to not make waves that they go along and they're like, yes, that's fine. And they don't speak up and really say what they want, or they'll only say it quietly to people that they trust, and you may have a bully involved that's not hearing. And I think we need to call that behavior out. I see this in families, and it is heartbreaking.
You know, growing old doesn't mean you're growing invisible.
That's right.
No,
and I think,
right.
you know, people don't understand what acts they do that rob people of their dignity. So that talking about and not to, that infantilizing language when you start treating
Oh, the
an
tone
adult
of
like
voice.
a child,
Yeah.
or talking in that little,
Oh.
you know, if you're giving a feeding assist, if you're helping someone older eat, it's not fly the airplane in. We're not playing games
Yeah,
here.
very-
We're helping an adult who knew how to do this do something. And so rushing care task. When you're a caregiver and you're rushing that person, you're robbing them of who they are. Just because I move slower doesn't mean it.
No,
And-
you know
and-
what I like is the staff member walking in, knocking on the door as they're walking in, not realizing that
That's
you
right.
knock on the door,
You
you
wait.
communicate, yeah, I'm coming in the room, my name is, and as you go in, not just barging in.
Right. And another big one is ignoring their comfort levels. I've seen staff members do this, and I've seen family members do this. Their homes are oftentimes much warmer than we're comfortable with, but going in and turning the air, cranking the air up,
Or how about the radio?
or the
How about the
radio,
music?
or turning, you know, just changing their environment to meet our needs
Right.
and not respecting that is a huge rob of dignity. And people do it all the time,
Yeah.
and they don't see it. Turning the TV down, not turning it up, turning it down.
Well, it might be your job, but it's their home.
Right.
And they want to feel like they're still living. You know,
Right.
of course. We want to feel safety, but you know, life without a risk is safe. But it also means that you may be having them go like they feel like they're not living.
Right.
I think
right.
that's true.
So I really want to share that dignity starts slipping away when you don't use your voice and when you don't let people know your wishes and you don't plan in advance. You've got to have these conversations because otherwise you're giving away your power.
And I absolutely agree that you need to speak up, but you can't speak up unless you know you're being heard. And so for the caregivers, for the family members, listen to the cues, treat people like you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And I love the rooms where it has what a person did, all the things they did in their life, so that caregivers come in and they know who they are as a person.
So they
That's all they
respect them.
want. They want to be known
Yeah.
who they
They
are.
are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we're so attached to our identity, and I think that just really signals that this person is loved and this
They
person
matter.
matters.
They
Absolutely.
matter.